All right, everybody, we are going to work on our social emotional learning this morning. I have an activity that I think is going to be pretty engaging. It is about making friends. As we worked on our second steps lesson earlier this week. And we are going to work today on recognizing what a good friend does, what a good friend says, and how a good friend acts. And we're going to look at how people who are not good friends, who don't make great choices that are respectful and responsible and safe for our bodies, behave as well. So we're going to separate between positive behavior and negative behavior. Okay, so allow me to share my screen with you. We're going to listen to a short read aloud today, and then we will work on a seesaw activity about being a good friend. So as we listen to this, I'd like for you to actively be thinking about what makes people a good friend to Amos McGee. Alrighty, here we go.
Today's read aloud was the winner of the 2011 Caldecott Medal. It's a wonderful story about Amos McGee, a friendly zookeeper, who always makes time to visit his good friends. A Sick Day for Amos McGee. Written by Philip Stead, illustrated by Aaron Stead. Amos McGee was an early riser. Every morning when the alarm clock clanged, he swung his legs out of bed and swapped his pajamas for a fresh pressed uniform. He would wind his watch and set a pot of water to boil, sang to the sugar bowl, "A spoonful for my oatmeal, please, and 2 for my teacup." Belly full and ready for the workday, he'd amble out the door. Every day, Amos waited for the number 5 bus. "Next stop, City Zoo," the bus driver would call. "6 a.m., right on time," he'd reply. Amos had a lot to do at the zoo, but he always made time to visit his good friends. He would play chess with the elephant, who thought and thought before making a move. Run races with the tortoise, who never ever lost. Sit quietly with the penguin, who was very shy. Lend a handkerchief to the rhinoceros, who always had a runny nose. And at sunset, read stories to the owl, who was afraid of the dark. One day, Amos awoke with the sniffles and the sneezes and the chills. He swung his achy legs out of bed, curled them back again and said, "Ugh, I don't think I'll be going to work today." Meanwhile, at the zoo, the animals waited for their friend. The elephant arranged his pawns and polished his castles. The tortoise stretched his legs and limbered up. The penguin sat patiently all by himself. The rhinoceros worried that his allergies were worsening. The owl perched atop a tall stack of storybooks, scratching his head with concern. Where is Amos? The animals wondered. Later that day, hooray! My good friends are here. The elephant prepared a game of chess. Amos thought and thought before making a move. "I'm too tired to run races today," said Amos to the tortoise. "Let's play hide and seek instead." The tortoise hid inside his shell. Amos hid beneath the covers. Amos yawned. "I could use a nap." The penguin sat quietly, keeping Amos's feet warm. Achoo! Amos awoke with a sneeze. The rhinoceros was ready with a handkerchief. "I'm beginning to feel much better, thank you," said Amos to his friends. He swung his legs out of bed. "Perhaps we'll share a pot of tea." Amos wound his alarm clock. "It's getting late," he said. "After all, we have a morning bus to catch." So Amos said goodnight to the elephant, and goodnight to the tortoise, and goodnight to the penguin, and goodnight to the rhinoceros, and goodnight to the owl, who, knowing that Amos was afraid of the dark, read a story aloud before turning out the light.
Alrighty, the question that you were asked to think about is what made these animals a good friend to Amos? What made these animals a good friend to Amos? I'm going to send you into a breakout room, and I'd like for you to discuss what makes a good friend. What makes a good friend? Here come your invites. And go. All right, Vinny, what makes a good friend?
what makes a good friend is how friends they talk about their problems so that they can fix it.
It's very deep, Vinny. Yeah. Good and close friendships are able to talk about their problems and help each other with them so that they can support each other. It's great. What more? What makes a good friend? William.
When if they like fall down, you pick them back up, or if they like need help, you're supposed to help them out and encourage
Yeah.
them. They're down.
Encouragement. And what you're describing is also empathy. So making sure that we show people empathy, whether it's a physical injury like a fall or whether they're just feeling down and need some care. Christopher, what makes a good friend?
The thing that makes a good friend is like if one of your friends is sick and you can go to his house and make him like comfort it.
Yeah, comfort and making sure that we're thinking about how each other's feeling so that we can pay attention to when we need some of that comfort. Great. Anyone more have something they wanted to share? Leah.
The man took care of the animals, so that made them a good friend, and then they took care of him, so that made the animals a good friend to him.
It's great how that works, isn't it? That when you take care of someone, it helps motivate them to take care of you. So kind of what goes around comes around. If you're kind to others, they tend to be kind. Friend also helps his or her friend. I'm getting that in the chat. Yeah, we help each other and we help each other's friends. Very good. All right. Today on SEL, you have an assignment that you are going to complete about being a good friend. It has just released to you. So please go to your SEL activities and click on a good friend. As you're finding that, I'm going to read the directions to you. It says, listen to A Sick Day for Amos McGee. We did that. If you'd like to listen to it again later, here's the link to that read aloud. A good friend is, does, says, and does not. You're going to sort what a good friend is, what a good friend does, what a good friend says, and what a good friend does not say or do. You'll use your dragging tool of the boxes at the bottom to put them into the correct activity. After you've moved all the boxes, create your own qualities using the typing tool. Press the green check when complete. So you're going to click on Add Response. And you have one slide of work, and down here you have some items that you are going to drag and move into the correct spot. A good friend is, I would say, trustworthy. A good friend is trustworthy. A good friend says, are you okay? A good friend does not take your things. A good friend does listen to you. So you're going to look and read these boxes and you're going to move them into the correct category. Is that what a good friend is? Is that what a good friend says? Is that what a good friend does not say or do? Is that what a good friend does? Your directions again said when you're done to create your own qualities using the typing tool. So you'll notice you have 4 boxes over here where you can type some things that you think good friends say, are, and do not do. Okay? Any questions over that assignment expectation before I release you to work? Any questions over that sort? Vinny.
Is the 4 boxes optional?
I want you to type at least one. I want you to come up with at least one item of yours, but if you can't think of 4, that's okay. But I want you to come up with at least one.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for asking. Any more? Okay, awesome. Leah.
Do the colors only have to be in one box, or can it be multicolor?
Great question. The boxes will be multicolored. They are not sorted by colors. So for example, I see right here that a good friend does, so is helpful. A good friend is helpful. A good friend is also trustworthy. So pink and purple, those are going in the same box. So you're not just going to sort by colors. That will not work. Okay, great question. You're sorting by what the boxes say. Any other questions about the assignment? Okay. You are getting ready to get an invite to a new breakout room where you will be able to work on this with your group. So if there's a box that you are struggling to read or one that you are unclear of, you'll be able to share your screen and help each other out. When you get all of your boxes sorted, I'd like for you to check in with each other and see if you came up with the same location for the items that you found. You finished your work inside of your breakout room, go ahead and click that green check to turn in your work to me. If you did not finish, that's okay. You will continue to work on this during your work time after ELA. But go ahead and click on that orange check mark right now to save your work as a draft. Had a lot of you gremlins telling me that your work is disappearing and vanishing. And that's probably because you're leaving it open in tabs, hoping that it's there when you get back. So make sure that you click on that orange check mark to save your work if you did not finish, okay? Click that orange check mark and that's how you save, and then you can finish that later. Don't just leave it floating in a tab up top, because if something happens and you accidentally X out or your computer dies, boom, your work's gone. All right, so go ahead and click that orange check to save your draft now, or click that green check if you are finished, okay? All right, kiddos, it is a weird time to have friends in our world right now because we have some kind of restrictions on the time we can spend with friends and how that time can be spent, and some things to consider if we want to stay healthy. But one thing that doesn't change is you can still communicate with your friends. So even though there may be some limits on what we can do for our friends and what our friends can do for us, we can still make sure that we're being a kind friend in the way that we communicate, in the way that we present ourselves online. So make sure that you're thinking about how you can be a good friend, both in person and in this new crazy world where we're online all the time. There's still opportunities to make connections and be good friends here as well. Okay, all right.